Hello, welcome to our Wednesday webinar. Today we're going to see how to plan step by step an L-shaped corner cabinet in a sloping roof. Yeah, you will also see how we plan it step by step, as well as how we create and design a room like this. So yeah, let's start. Before we start, it's also important how to navigate here in TrunCAD. When you scroll the mouse wheel, you can zoom in and zoom out. Yeah, and you zoom in there where the mouse arrow is, there the zoom is focusing on. So if you press the mouse button and keep it pressed, you can pan. And if you hold the right mouse click, then you can rotate. Yeah, you do have all the function here as well. Here you can pan, rotate, and zoom. All right. So yeah, you see already our result for today, and we have already here designed the room. And in this project, we have two cabinets. If you are here in the cabinet tab, you see here the three dot button, and when you click on here, the window is opening where you see all your cabinets. And here, if the blue check bar is active, then it's visible. And when you deactivate the check bar, like for the second cabinet, and you close it, then it's getting invisible. Yeah, and we can make the other visible, invisible, and the second one visible. You can also show your customer your project with the cabinets visible or not. Okay, now we all have it visible, and we close this, and then we are going here to the eye. Yeah, when you click here, the circle menu is opening, and here when you click draw the room, then you see now only the first cabinet active, and when we activate here the second cabinet, we only have this visible. Yeah, and when we go here on the eye again, we can have also both visible without the room, and when we click here again, we have the room visible. All right, for planning, we usually don't need the room. That's why we make it invisible. And here we can check the wireframe. We can check all the hinges and connectors and all other drilling holes. All right. When we click on a yellow cube, you can see you can choose different rendered versions. Yeah, and just keep your favorite and you can work with it. So here, if we click draw fronts, we can draw the fronts open. Yeah, you see the fronts with the project with open fronts. When you click here again, the doors get visible, but we still see the drawers, the front drawers. And when you click here again, also the front drawers getting invisible, and we can see the whole interior of our cabinets. And if we click here again, we see our project with closed doors. So last but not least, when we click here on a cube with the arrows, we can activate all the smart clicks, dimensions, and the green arrows, and we can step by step turn them off. Yeah. So normally we don't need the green arrows, but we do need here the smart clicks for designing our project. Yeah, because if we click here, for example, you can delete like the top panel, or you can change if you click here that the horizontal is passing, vertical is passing, or you want to have a mitra cut. Yeah, you can make the selection with the smart click. All right, that is for the introduction. And now we start a new project. So before we start a new project, well, we click here on File and we save this project. Yeah. So we recommend also to save this project in a different folder. So not in a TrunCAD 20XX folder. We do have here a different folder, projects, and here we call it how we want to have it. So call it now webinar L shaped corner cabinet in low roof. So also be aware to click here Save Project. The project means also the setup for the room with all cabinets in it. If you only save the single cabinet, you just save, in this case here, cabinet 1, yeah, which is here red marked. This function, save cabinet, we usually use if we use here the library. Yeah, you can save here a single cabinet for later. Yeah, therefore we already have a webinar, so you find it when you click here on help and here on free tutorial. Then our online academy is opening. Yeah, and here we go here and start our webinars, and here you see all the webinar uploaded. Yeah. So when you scroll a bit down, you see different projects, and here you find how to use the library. Yeah, and therefore we have the function save single cabinet. Okay, yeah. So next week, if you check the schedule for the webinar, um, next week we have the theme save the standard cabinet. Yeah, if you click here on the green button webinar, then our schedule for the webinars is opening. Here you can check out the next webinars. I see here in beginning of March we have basic operating settings, how to create your default cabinet and save it as a standard. Yeah, you see further on in March, we also plan a modern U-shape kitchen with island. And if you can't come to this webinar, you see it in our webinar page, which I have shown you before. Yeah. So it's in here. Here you see all the webinars. All right, now let's continue with our project today. It's an L-shaped corner unit in a sloping roof. So we already saved it and we click on File and start a new project. So first of all, you see our standard cabinet in a standard room, and we need to adjust the room, and therefore you click here on the width of the room. The window is opening here, room width. We type in 5000 millimeter, confirm it with enter, and the same here with the room length. Left, we have 3000, and here with the room length on the right side, we also have 3000. And the height of the room, we click on here, it's 2300. We confirm it with enter. Yeah, especially if we have like individual projects like this, it's important to set up the room first. So the next one is here also the ceiling apex. Yeah, it's a bit covered here. It's because of Zoom, I can't change this. Yeah, but usually when we click any dimension in here, the window is opening, and you will see also what's the meaning of this. Yeah, that is the ceiling apex left, and here we have 800. So we type in 800 and we confirm it with enter, and you see the cabinet is adapted to the room shape. So we can also change here the angle. Yeah, in this case, it's 45 degree, and the cabinet is adjusted as well. So you saw our room before. Um, we can design a room on a ending as well as on a beginning. Yeah, especially if we have also, when we click here on room, if we work with cutouts and with windows, it's also good to do it before. Um, but what we need to do before is always how we have done it already, that we set up the ceiling apex and the angle and the room size. Yeah, especially here the room height and the length. So if we have done this, we can also click here on the eye and draw the room first. So if the default cabinet is annoying to you, then you can also make it invisible. Just click here on cabinet on the three dot button, and we take out the checkbox for visible and we close it. And we have actually now an empty room, and we can start design the room. So therefore we go here on the room tab and we start with a window. We just click here on the drop down menu for the window, type in the width of the window, it's 200, distance left is 500, distance bottom 1000, and height 1000 as well. And we just drag it and drop it on the right wall. So the same with the door. We just click on the drop down menu for the door, and the width and height, we keep it like this. Distance left is 3700, and then we just drag and drop the door on the middle wall. And for the cutout, we click here on the drop drop-down menu for the cutout as well. And we define here the width of the room, 400, the height, 2300, and the depth is 450. Distance left is 0, and you can also use the cutouts when there is a collision with the cabinet later on, and you have activate here calculate cutouts, then the cutouts of the cabinet are automatically calculated. And if you have also the cover up activated, then you see also cover ups on the cabinet. Yeah, I can show it to you in a minute. Before we activate, make sure that everything is activated, and then we just drag and drop the cutout here on the left wall. So now we are done, and we are done with the room. Now with the room design, roughly, yeah, the textures we can change. And now we go here. Also, if we're planning, we are going from the left to the right. Yeah, we have set it up, the windows, doors, cutouts. If you want, you can here also set the ceiling invisible. Yeah, you can set everything invisible or not. And here you can also define the floor trim, and you can also calculate the cutouts later on if this is activated. All right. So yeah, the room, we are done. And now we go to the cabinet tab, and here we activate our first cabinet and close it. So, and if we click here on the smart click for the cabinet, which you also see in front of the cabinet on the left side, if you click here, you see here also the circle menu is opening. You can here change the distance to left, yeah, like 300. And you see also the cabinet is adapting. And click here again, and we change here also the distance to back. And here we type in 2400 and confirming it with enter. Yeah, and you see now we have here a collision. And when we double click now the bottom panel, you see also the cutout with the collision. Yeah, because we have activated it. We close this now, and you see here also the cover up. Yeah. Also, when we double click here the top panel, yeah, you see here also the cutout for the top panel, as well as the ankle in here. So now we close it, and we are setting the room invisible. Yeah, and now, yeah, here you see it also. Yeah, and now we're setting up the cabinet. So you already know we can change here the cabinet, the position of the cabinet. And here if you click here on the width of the cabinet, also the window on the bottom left corner is opening. Here you can also change the width of the cabinet, but it's also working with the cabinet window here. When we click here on the three dot button, you see the window is opening. We make it a bit smaller. And here we can also define the width of the cabinet. Yeah, and it should be 3220. So the height of the cabinet is 2300. The depth is 600 millimeter. The distance left is 0. Distance back is also 0. Yeah, and distance to bottom is also 0. And we have 1, and it's visible. So if we close it, yeah, we see here our cabinet in the right position with the right dimension, how we defined it in our window. Okay, that is the first step. I think it's also um, well explained so far. If not, you can also use chat and ask questions in the chat. I will keep an eye on it. All right, now we are continuing with the cabinet. Yeah, and here if we click here on the drop-down menu for the groove, you can define the back. If you want to have no back, it's disappearing. If you want to have a groove back or a rebate, you can define also your parameters in here. Yeah. Next week in the webinar, I also show you how to set up your default cabinet that you don't need to change it every time. Yeah, then it's your default. Okay, so I activate here the groove again. For beneath cabinet, we choose here the height 80 millimeter, and now we will define the trim on the left, top and right side. We start here with the drop-down menu on the left side, activate it in here. Yeah, you see here the width of the cabinet, and if you define here the width of the trim, the cabinet itself is getting smaller, but the trim belongs to the whole measurement, yeah, of the cabinet. That is important to know and to consider from the beginning. Yeah. So, okay, we set it up to 50 millimeter, and here you can choose the offset. Yeah, like 20 or minus 20 is getting in the other direction. Yeah, in this case, we keep it 2. And for the right side, we want to have here a visible side. You will also see the interior measurement will separated the thickness of our visible side. All right. Last but not least, we set up here the trim on top of the cabinet, also with a height of 50. And you see here all trims are visible. We deactivate the back, left, and right one. So here we have also the automatic function flush to front. If we use this, yeah, also the trims are flashing to front. But in our case, we don't want to have it to the front. We want to have an offset of 2 millimeter. So yeah, then we are pretty much halfway done with the first cabinet. And if we have set it up the trims and so on, we can go to the division tab. So here we make the division, and here we choose how many verticals we want to have, like 2, and we just drag it and drop it in our area here. So if you click here on the drop-down menu, you can also choose verticals passing. We don't see it here, so good. That's why we click here on the eye and change to a other rendered view where we see the edge bendings in a different color, not in the same color. Yeah. Then you see you can change here the parameters, vertical passing through top, no, like now, or yes, then it's passing through top. If you want to have double one, you can double it up or choose also single. Yeah. In our case, the vertical should passing through top and bottom. And here you can also define your connectors. That is also content of the webinar next week. All right. You see the 3 areas, they are related in relation 1 to each other. If you want to change the relation, you just click here on dimension. Then the window is opening with area. All numbers from 1 to 10 are relations numbers. If we type in number 2, it's getting related in relation 1 to 2 to 1 to each other. If you say, no, I want to have it exactly like 1200 millimeter, it's getting fixed 1200, and the other both areas are related in relation 1 to each other. So in our case, we want to have it 1 to each other, and now we can continue with horizontals. And we are starting with 1 horizontal, and no, we have divided here the 3 main areas, and we divide the middle area here again with another vertical. Yeah. The difference is also this vertical doesn't go through top. Now we don't want to have it. And you see here also the areas are related in relation 1 to each other. Okay. Yeah, here's the right one. We also want to have here 1 more vertical. And here we want to have a horizontal. So our connection got interrupted. Excuse me for this. So I will share my screen again. So now it should work. All right, yeah. Yes, you can hear me. All right, good. Let's continue with the division. So we do here 1 more horizontal. So we wanna set the horizontals that the horizontal is exactly on here, and therefore we need to measure it, how high should it be, and therefore we zoom in here and we keep the control button pressed, and if you go with the mouse in here you see in the black box informations of the panel, and if you go to an edge, you see that is a point. Yeah, you see here the coordinate system, and that is a point in our coordinate system. And if you click it, it's getting green colored. And if you click in here, you see here the dimension dx and dz. It's in this case the same. We are interested in this here. It's 415.8 0.58 millimeters. So we just say it's 416, and therefore we are choosing here the right smart click. You see we have here the top left area, the whole left area, and the whole middle area. And we just want to change the size, the height of the top left area here. Click in here and we change the height to 416 and confirming it with enter, and it's exactly here where we want to have it. Yeah, the same we are doing here. Click in here, say height 416 and confirming it with enter. We can also use the copy paste function as well as the delete function. Yeah, let's say we want to delete here the vertical in here, then we do need to mark the area where the vertical is in it, and that is here the right area. You see it's purple colored, and if you click in here and click the yellow cross, it's getting deleted. So, and if you choose now here the whole middle area, then you can choose here the copy function, and you click on this area and choose here the paste function. Yeah, then you get copy and paste it like here. Okay, now we can continue, and we want to have here one more horizontal, which divided sits in the bottom and top area. And in the top area, we have the interior shelves. And in the bottom area, we will have interior drawers. And here on the right area, we do want to have two more horizontals. Now we just drag and drop two in it. And later on, we define also the size of it. But before, we need to go here from the division tab to the interior tab. With the division, we are pretty much done. That's why we go here from left to right to the interior tab. And here we set up two adjustable shelves. And here in the left area, we want to have 5 adjustable shelves. Yeah, and we see they are here on the same level. You can also check it. The size of the area you see when you go with the mouse over the smart click for the interior shelf. Now you see the height is a Z value, it's 267, and 267 is also the size of this area and should be also for this area. So we click on here, change the height to 267, and the same here. Yeah, here's important to catch the right smart click, and we change here the height to 267. Then it's here also on the same level as the interior adjustable shelf. All right. Here also for the interior, we start with the adjustable shelves. when the shelves are set, we are going to the interior drawers. Therefore, we click also on the drop-down menu and we choose here the height of the interior shelves, here distance to the bottom or top we choose. If we want to have the bottom one a bit lower distance, we can start with 1 and here we choose our hardware for our interior drawer and then we just drag it and drop it in here. So if you want to change the distance to bottom, you can do it here and we can also drag and drop 3 in it. Yeah, now we have added 3 interior drawers. So you know here that is the height of this area, it's 839 millimeter, and you do need to calculate yourself the height of the box as well as the distance to each other. Yeah, because we don't have on the interior drawer a front. On the front drawers, the size of the box is depending on the front. But here we don't have a front. That's why we need to define it here. Yeah, you can also click on here and change it, the height afterwards. Yeah, that is here also possible. But before we set it up, you should define the size here. If it's too big, yeah, like 300, then it's automatically uh, getting to the maximum. Can also be that it's disappearing. Yeah, when they are too big. Um, so if they are also like 250, then the last one will be invisible. Okay, so now we have set it the drawers. And last but not least, we set up the close rails. Here we also define the distance to the top, like 100 millimeter, and here's the hardware. And then we just drag it and drop it here in the area where we want to have it. Yeah, for the interior, it's important, first of all, to set the shelves, then the interior drawers, and on the end, the close rails. Yeah, you always go from left to right. So if we have done this, we can also use the copy paste function and we want to copy this area. Yeah, you see it here on this smart click that is this for the whole area. Here you see that are the smaller areas. So you know, okay, we want to have this. Yeah, now it's also uh, in the right way displayed. We click on here and click copy and click on here and paste it. And now we are also done with the interior. And we can go from the interior tab to the front tab. And here we're setting up the fronts. And we choose, first of all, here the trim. If you click here on the drop-down menu, you can also define here the width of the trim. Yeah, like 600. We can change it later on, I show you. And we just drag it and drop it here in the area, and it's getting adapted through the whole area. So if we want to have a door, you can click also on the drop-down menu for the door, choose the right door as well as the hardware. And you see here the front smart links for the trim. We have here arrow to top, to bottom, to left and right. And when you drag it over the smart link to the right, and the position is getting to the right. So this has a size of 600. If we wouldn't type in anything here, it would be related in relation 1 to 1. Yeah, but later on we can also delete it and set it up new. But for now we keep it like this. So for the top, we want to have here a right door. Yeah, here's also, yeah, that is also important. Um, you see when we drag and drop a door, you can choose every single area. Yeah, like we do it on here. Yeah, and here. So if you come accidentally on the divider here, it automatically uses the whole area. We can also delete it, therefore we click on here and click the yellow cross, then it's getting deleted. If you have sometimes trouble, you can also use here the smart legs. Yeah, you can click it over this, then it's getting defined like here. So you see, we want to have here on top extra doors, and on the bottom, it should go over the whole area. So how we do this is when we drag it and drop it in the area, it's getting selected the single area. When we go here over a divider, it catches automatically the bigger area. Yeah, and when we go here over here, then it catches the whole area. That is also linked with the depth of division for the back. Yeah, therefore, to show you this, we go back to the cabinet tab and on the drop-down menu for the groove. And here you have the depth of division. And when we type in here number 0, it means the back is going through the whole area. When we type in number 1, it's getting divided on the first divider, which are the verticals. When we type in number 2, it's getting divided on the first and second dividers, which are here the verticals in between. So when we type in number 3, it's getting also divided here on a third divider. Yeah, that's why we have here separate and here a whole area. And when we type in number 4, it's getting even more divided. Yeah, that you see also there the game of the areas and how they are linked to each other. Okay, so I think that is also clear. I think in this case, it's good to have here depth of division number 3. That is a good relation. So, okay, here we want to delete this door and we go back to the front tab and we drag and drop here the door on the top area and here for the whole bottom area. And here you see the interior, it doesn't matter. We can divide the door through the interior. Here we need to go also over this, yeah, over the divider. And here we choose now the left door. Just drag it and drop it over here, in here. You see also when it's sketched, the whole area, you see it's blinking here on the top. That always means, okay, there's a collision. So we need to delete it. And we need to drag it and drop it. In the worst case, you drop it here on the right smart click. Yeah. Now you see here also it's ending. So, and now the last door over here. And we have stated it up. One more thing, if we click here and we draw the fronts invisible, you see here we have a distance panel. And if you do want to have an offset in here, you can also click on the smart click for the bottom area and choose here offset interior like 40 millimeter and confirming it with enter. Yeah, then you get here an offset. And if you want to have here also offset of this, you need to go through the whole area and say here offset in, not offset interior, because it is a divider, offset divider like 20. Yeah, then you see here it's offset of divider 20. And on the 20, you get also added the 40. Yeah. And for this, here that is interior, we can type in also 20. So it was the wrong one, now it's the right one. All right, then we have done this as well. And we click here to draw the fronts. And now we are done with the first cabinet and we can continue with the second one. And therefore we go back to the cabinet tab and go here on the drop-down menu for the cabinet and we define the length is the width. Yeah, length and width 2000. It's for me the same. The height is 1250 and the depth is 500. We do want to have a distance to the left of 400 because of this cutout. And the distance bottom is 0, distance to back is 20. And then if we have defined the cabinet and the distances, we can drag it and drop it on the wall where we want to place it. Yeah, it can be the left wall, the middle wall, and the right wall. Yeah, I show it here on the right wall. And when this is done accidentally, you can also click on here and delete it. Yeah, or I do it again. Here it's also important to have the mouse arrow on here. So you can also click on here and you see here the tab for the wall where you can choose the wall. And here the window is open. 0 means middle wall, 1 means left wall, 2 right. Yeah, we have number 2. When we type in number 1, it's going to the middle wall. And you see also it's adapting through the shape of the room. Yeah. When we do it accidentally on the middle wall, you see it's covered now. So how we solve it if we do it accidentally? Yeah, we can also drag it and drop it accidentally here. Then we have 3 cabinets, but just see one. Yeah, sometimes it's happened, but when we are here on the cabinet tab, you see here all 3 cabinets. When we open it, you can also see them, and you can say, okay, we want to make this invisible, and here we can delete it. Okay, we can also change here the distance and make both visible. So yeah, that is the one thing. Or you click here on the eye and you just make the activated cabinet visible. Yeah, and that would be this. So now it was a little excurse. I will delete it, and we go here to our normal view where we see also the shape of the room, and we are now dragging and dropping it here on the left wall. And you see here it's also blinking again, so we know it's overlapping. Um, it can be right. I show you later on why, but for now we change here the measurement with an equal sign. We can also make our operations. Yeah, 2000 minus 20, confirming it with enter, and then we have here a gap, a little gap. Yeah, that is okay. It's 1 or 2 millimeters depending on the material, 18 or 19 millimeters. Okay, yeah, we do have here also a distance to back, 20 millimeters. That is also fine. Okay, so then we continuing with the height of the plinth. It's 80, and here also trim to the left, trim to the right, and trim on top of the cabinet. And here we want to have it flush to front. Yeah, we say here flush to front. It's going flush to front. And yeah, now we are drawing the room, because what we want to do, we need to set up here an overlap. Now we see the cabinet, it's going to here, and we want to have an overlap to the top that the trim is going to here. So therefore we can also measure it. Therefore we keep the control button pressed, measure this point and this, and we see it's round about 130 millimeter, but doesn't matter so much if you type in here. Go in the drop down menu for the left one, and you go here overlap top 130. Yeah, here we see the exact measurement from here to here. It's 89. Now we go now here on cabinet, overlap top 89. And for the left one, overlap top 130. So what you see now, we do have here a little gap. So that's why it was, if you have something like this, yeah, you get here this orientation, you can click here on a cube or here on a house. Yeah, then you get here back to the normal view. Yeah, but here we will turn off the room. What I want to show you, because I have shortened it here with 20. Yeah, when we click here again and say, okay, it should be 2000, then it's going to here. So, and when we change here the width of the trim like to 70, it's automatically getting a bit bigger. Yeah, so we can do it this way. I go back to 50, and when we say here, okay, the width is 1980, like this, then we can also extend here the right one. Yeah, like we extended to the top, we can also extend it to the right of 20. In this case, both is possible, and it doesn't matter uh, how you're gonna do it. Yeah, you see it going to here. I can also make a little more. All right. Now it's closed, and you can adjust it on a site, on a construction site. Okay, now let's finish our project. We have set it up, the trims, and we go to the division, and we do want to have here two verticals, and in the middle we want to have one horizontal. Um, if you do have accidentally two like this, you can also go here on the smart click for the whole area and can click here plus or minus. Yeah, the same for the verticals. Yeah, if you go here on the smart click for the whole area, can you also click on plus? And you see they are adding on the right side. And if you click minus, they are getting also deleted on the right side. Okay, just for information. So here we have two horizontals, and we do want to measure also this part here, that we come to here and we measure it from here, and that are 427. And here height 427, confirming it with enter. Yeah, and we can copy it, paste it, and here we can copy the whole area and paste it in here. And then we are going to the front, and we want to have here a left door. Here we want to have 3 drawers. We're choosing the Movento, and we just drag and drop 3 drawers in here. And here the fronts, they are related in relation 1 to each other. And the size of the box is also adjusted to here. You can click on here and change the height of the front like to 200 or 150. Yeah, it's getting adjusted. Also, when we showed here with open fronts or also with visible fronts. Yeah, if we click here again and we say, okay, it should be related one-to-one to each other, it's like this. Or when we click here, height of the front, number 2. Yeah, you see there the fronts are visible, invisible because you still have the smart links for the fronts and they are still working. Yeah, now they are related, the fronts one-to-one to two to each other. And when we draw the fronts, you see it here. So yeah, and here we have a trim, and if you want to have here a bit more place, yeah, you can even make this trim here bigger. Like if we go here, right trim, and you say, okay, you want to have here 100, then we have a bit more space. But here's also a lot of space wasted. Therefore, we choose here 50. And you can also add here a front trim. Click here on front. And we say here width is 50. And we drag and drop one trim over the whole area. On the beginning, it's getting through the whole area. And now we drag and drop a door here on the left side. And we want to have a right door. Loom clip top inserter. And we just drag it here on the smart click. And you see the trim has a size of 50 mil. And here you get the right door. Yeah. We do have here the Bloom clip top inserter. If you click here on setting, that is the family, and it's automatically choosing the right one for every setup. Yeah, just for information. Okay, and now we are pretty much done. We need to change the material as well as the handles. Yeah, for the setup for the handles, we click here on the drop-down menu for the handles, and here you can choose no handles. Yeah, or here knob handles. I see here the knobs, and we want to have verticals. But I think before we do it, we are starting with the materials, and therefore we go here to the material tab, and in my case I only have here 19 millimeter material sets, but you will have 18, so it's similar. And now we are changing it. So if you scroll down, you see here when you double click also on the material tab, just double click it. Yeah, you see also the material selection on this window. You might have a better view. Yeah, also because it is here covered from the zoom window. But here you see also the other materials. Yeah, so you can drag and drop the material where you want to have it. Yeah, you can do it one by one, but if you click here all parts of the group, yeah, you can change the material with one drag and drop action. And if you want to have it for all cabinets, then you also activate here the checkbox all cabinets. Yeah, and then you can drag and drop a material over here, and all parts of the group for all cabinets getting changed. In this case, that are the fronts. So the same is also for the trims. Yeah. So if we drag and drop this over here, all trims, so visible sides and trim on top on side getting changed. So also the group is in all verticals and horizontals that we want to keep it wide. Yeah. And what we want to change is when we click here on the front tab and on the drop-down menu for the handles, we want to change here the size of the handles. So we go here drilling for handles, and here we can change it over the distance. Yeah, it's 360, and you see it's getting changed on the cabinet which is active, not on the other one. But you can use here also the function all cabinets. Then the setup, what we have done on this cabinet, we can also use for the other ones, except if you have here more cabinets and you deactivate the checkbox, it's not overtaken. But if this is active and we close this, you see here we also have the same setup. So now that is all right, but for the doors on top, we have also the global setup, but here we want to have a different. Now we want to have here a knob, and therefore we need to click here on a smart click of the front, and we are going here to the setup menu, and here you see a handle type is -1. Always when you see in a setup window like this a -1, it means that the setup is overtaken from the global setup, which we have made before, yeah, where we typed in 360 millimeter distance. So, and yeah, that is here in this case the distance -1. It's in this case 360 because we have changed it in the global setup. So, but here's a handle type. We want to have number 1 for the knob, and we save it. Yeah, and the same in here. Click in here, type in number 1. Here it would be also smart if we might copy and paste it. Yeah, when we click in this here, click copy, and here paste. It's also the same. And yeah, I showed you here again. Click on the smart click for the front. Go in the setting, type in here number 1. But the copy paste is getting faster. You can get faster to your goal. Okay. Yeah, by the way, you can also change here the material for the handles if you want. All right, now we are done with the cabinets, and we can click on the eye and we can deactivate the smart clicks and the measurements, and we can activate the room. And for the room is the same as for the cabinet. We can also uh, change the color. Yeah, so just choose a material and just drag it and drop it on here. Yeah, I use here the same for the window frame. And if you, for you, it would be wall. In my case, it's one, but here you can also choose different materials for the wall. Yeah, you can also design new materials, new textures. Yeah, you find it here. If you click on help and here on free tutorial, show you it's getting popped up on the other screen. Here on the start of webinars, you see here also setting of handles. And here you see also front drawers as interior drawers. Construction might be also interesting to you. And here you see also automatic generation of material sets. Yeah, how to generate your own material sets. So there you can create also material for the wall and also for the doors. So you see the white one. Um, this. So, and here I want to have also white for this. So here I need to activate all parts of group for all cabinets. So I don't want to have it black in this case. And the handle should be also white. So, and here you see, or I accidentally opened a part via double click. Here you see we do have a trim. The trim is a front trim. And here we need to activate only selected part. And we drag and drop here also the white color over here and here. Yeah, and then we are done. So if you click now on the eye and on a red, on a yellow cube, you can show here the different views. Yeah, here you see it a bit more highlighted, the edges. That is like a painting. And here the first one is you see also the edge bendings in the same color as the material texture. And that is the favorite for rendering in my case. Yeah, and you can bring your project in a perspective, how you wanna show it to your customer. And if you want, you can also draw it here with open fronts or with visible fronts or with closed fronts. Yeah. And if you wanna send your customer a picture, you can use the screenshot. You click here on File and go on Screenshot. And here you can make a screenshot as a JPEG file. And here we call it corner unit in sloping roof. So that is one way. Other way is you can also use a snipping tool. Um, My task list is invisible, but if you use the Windows searching, snipping tool is also a Windows program. Yeah, and if you click here on new, then you can define the area. Yeah, and then you can save it here or copy it and paste it in a Word file or click on the three dot button and you can print it, control print. Yeah, in a German keyboard is STRG, Steuerung, Control. All right, that is it. And yeah, uh, if your customer wanna have this project, you click here on data export and you can get your cutting list. And if you got set up your CNC machine, you can export the CNC files. If you click here on TrunOpt, you will get the panel optimization. But for the data export, we are also planning new webinars. Now you will find it on the schedule. Um, Also, we already have also for the TrunOpt, if you click here on help, free tutorial, you also find a webinar. I show you. So yeah, here you have also a modern room divider, how to create new material sets you have here. And here you have TrunOpt setting of panel optimization. Yeah, you find also here. All right. So now we are well done for today, and I'm looking forward to next week. And yeah, I wish you all the best to plan it yourself and take care. Bye bye.